All right, guys. I have the big brake kit set up from Wilwood. I bought all this used. I got it from the Facebook Marketplace, and I'm just starting to get an idea of how much work this is going to be. And I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be a huge undertaking. I don't even know where to start. So you can see here, these are originally powder coated red, and the previous owner, or one of the previous owners, painted them yellow. I think this is just spray can yellow, so I should be able to get that off with regular like paint thinner or paint removal type of chemicals. And I may just try and run with the stock red on here, the stock powder coating, so that I could reduce the amount of time and cost it's going to take me to rejuvenate these. One of the first things I want to point out, these rotors are ginormous and they're heavy. These are 13-inch two-piece rotors, and I don't know if you guys have ever used two-piece rotors before, but the advantage of these is if I want to swap these rotors out, I just have to replace this. The downside is it is a little bit more setup. So you can see here the safety wire isn't really done to my spec or my liking. This is kind of like not what I would do. Essentially, the safety wire is supposed to prevent any two from backing out by virtue of how it's twisted on to the bolt. In other words, if one bolt tries to back out, it ends up tightening the other one. I'll have to do a separate video on that one. It just basically prevents these from backing out. Anyways, you can see right here, right here, one of the bolts was stripped off. So I'm gonna have to drill that and then use a bolt removal tool to get that bolt out. I'm gonna remove all this safety wire and redo it. I'm probably gonna go with slotted rotors instead, but we'll see. I'm not sure yet. I'm probably gonna get new pads. I mean, that would be the smart thing to do, even though these have a lot of material left on them. I'm probably gonna get these hats re-powder coated. Again, I'm not sure yet. I want to just take this little by little. So those are the fronts. I think at the bare minimum, I'm going to keep the fronts and try and get them into good condition and get them on the car. There's really no issues with getting the fronts on. The rears, however, are a different story. These are the rotors that came with it. These are the calipers. This is the elusive rear caliper bracket. I've got measurements on this already. I kind of want to reproduce this, but I want to make sure I know what I'm getting myself into. I think one of the main reasons why this didn't really make it mainstream is because there are some issues if you go to this rear big brake setup. First one is, I think you have to lose the parking brake provision, which is a huge issue, huge issue. That pretty much reduces you down to show car or race car, you know, drag strip or track status if you don't have an e-brake. I don't know if I would recommend that or feel safe doing that with a daily driver, but it is what it is. I'm going to think on that. The second issue is, if you look at, let me see here if I can get this out. 1 second, I'm doing this live here. All right. So the brake pads on these rear ones, get it out. Look at the wear on this. I'm taking this out live. It's not fully seated onto the rotor. You see this brake pad wear? So this guy, I mean, I'm definitely going to get new ones here. But that, in my mind, could be an issue. Some of you may think, it's all right, but I don't know if I could live with that. Pads for the rears alone are 75 bucks. So times 2, that's 150 just for pads. That's a lot. Usually you can get a whole set of 4 for that. Same situation here, spray painted. The rears have the Wilwood sticker. It looks like they just took it off. The fronts have the Wilwood raised lettering, which is really nice. So this one I could probably take the paint off, reveal the original red powder coating, and then just put a white Wilwood sticker or a silver Wilwood sticker on there, and that might look good. But the rear brake pad issue, I did a little bit of research on this. I have some friends on Instagram that have the rears already on their car. I had them send me pictures of their brackets. They have slightly different brackets. Theirs have a lower seat right here where the caliper sits. You see this ledge right here? This is, I already measured this. This is about 4.5 millimeters. So if you look here, I think I can describe it here. If you see, this is one of the caliper brackets from my friend on Instagram. It's just kind of it goes straight to this angle and it comes down. On mine, it goes up here. There's about 4.5 or 5 millimeters of ledge. I think that's actually 4.5 millimeters. And it comes down like this. So it goes boop, boop, boop. Anyways, if this wasn't here, in other words, if it's right there, kind of like how this is. I know it's black, so it's hard to see. So it goes, and then, this caliper is going to sit lower against this bracket. And in turn, I think that's what makes up or corrects this uneven wear. So I think what happened is, my friend on IG said he has seen up to 3 different calipers for the rear setup. I think I got a hold of maybe like an earlier or one of the early versions of this rear bracket, caliper bracket. People put it on, they realized the pad is not quite sitting fully onto the rotor, and they made some revisions, or somebody made some revisions and potentially corrected it. So that's, I don't know, I got to tackle that when I get there, but I'm going to worry about the fronts first. The other thing I did was I created a list. So I'm going to have to trim the dust shields. That's fine. Will the parking brake work? I think the answer is no. Will I have to tinker with the brake proportioning valve? I don't know that yet. And how will the stock brake booster hold up? So those are some of the things, concerns I'm working with on this big brake kit, but I'm going to give it an honest effort. You guys know me, I like a challenge, but this one is right on the cusp of biting off more than I could chew. But I'm gonna give it a shot. Anyways, just want to give you guys that update.